All right, I'll go ahead and call to order the Ford County Commission meeting. This is meeting 2022-08. And first up is a prayer, and then followed by a pledge of allegiance. And we have Captain Roberto Davala here.
Welcome, everybody. I would like to share a few verses from James chapter 3. Starting verse 17 says, "But the wisdom from above is always pure, filled with peace, considerate and teachable. It is filled with love and never displays prejudice or hypocrisy in any form. In its ways bears the fruit of harvest of righteousness. Good seeds of wisdom fruit will be planted with peaceful acts by those who cherish making peace." Let's pray. Dear Father, we come to your presence acknowledging who you are, our Father, our Creator, and Sustainer of everything. If we have sinned against you, Lord, we come in repentance, and we ask for forgiveness so our relationship could be restored with you. I pray this afternoon, Lord, for guidance to all these leaders. I pray, Lord, for knowledge and wisdom, that it might be guided doing your will, Lord, in all the choices that they need to make, hard choices, Lord, this day, that they benefit our community and Dodge City and Ford County. Lord, I pray for our streets and our children, that they might be kept safe. And I pray, Lord, that for peace, and especially in the middle of all these world circumstances that surround us, Lord. I pray for blessing for the leaders in this room, and I pray for our communities. In Jesus' name,
Amen. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Okay, so for everybody at home, we do have Commissioner Snook here on the phone, so you'll hear him chime in every now and then. And in front of us, the very first thing is a consent agenda, which has the approval of meeting minutes 2022-07, the credit card statement for the month of March, a cereal malt beverage license for Craig Dolansky Racing Promotions of Dodge City Raceway Park, and we have a proclamation. April is Child Abuse Prevention Month, so I'll go ahead and, actually someone else is here to read this. That's what I have a note here for. Is anybody here to walk forward to read that?
I don't see anyone.
Okay, all right, I'll go ahead and read it here. It says Child Abuse Prevention Month 2022 proclamation, whereas we can build healthier, safer, thriving communities if we take the same approach to raising families that we do to tending a community garden on a shared piece of land. And whereas children are locally grown and have the right to be safe and to be provided an opportunity to thrive, learn, and grow, and whereas hope and commitment are powerful fertilizers that strengthen and support Kansas families, thus preventing the far-reaching effects of maltreatment, providing the opportunity for children to develop healthy, trusting family bonds, and whereas we must come together as partners to nurture, heal, and grow together because prevention happens in partnership. And whereas by growing a better tomorrow for all children together, we can ensure that Kansas children will grow to their full potential as the next generation of leaders, helping to secure the future of this state and nation. Therefore, I do proclaim April 2022 as Child Abuse Prevention Month. Okay.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented.
All right. All right, we have a motion and a second from Snook. With the motion second, any further discussion? Hearing none, I'll call a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Motion passes. Up next is approval for claims for payment in the amount of $513,642.18. I'd make a motion to approve the claims as presented.
I'd second.
With a motion second, any further discussion or any clarification on anything? Hearing none, I'll call vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. Okay. We're at the point of the meeting where it's open public comments. Please limit it to 5 minutes per individual, 15 minutes per topic, and final action may be deferred until the next county commission meeting unless an emergency situation does exist. The microphone's open if anybody would like to come forward. No takers. Okay, we have no unfinished business, no legal counsel, so I'll turn this over to the county administrator's report.
All right, first item we have is the Fort County Engineer Report.
Sean, can you pull your mic down there so everybody can hear?
Can you hear me now?
Okay. I could hear you before, but maybe the folks at home can't.
Thank you.
Commercial there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good afternoon. I'm here to give the Fort County Engineers Report since I was here last on March 7th. First item I'm covering for active projects. Kirk Michael was on site throughout the duration of construction of the Iron Star Wind Farm project. In the months following the end of the year, or beginning of the year, if we're going to look at it, the wind farm contractor has been working on reclaiming and putting the roads that they use back to pre-construction condition. They completed that work back in March. We completed a post-construction evaluation and noted some needing repair work at 3 road intersections. And we sent that notice to Iron Star Wind. My understanding that we have not yet received a response back from when they will address those issues, but they have been notified. I'm gonna make it a habit to keep the commissioners up to date on the Highway 50 project between Dodge City and Cimarron. So that's a very important project for Southwest Kansas and the Dodge City region. Construction really hasn't officially kicked off yet, but did see last week when I was out in that area that the contractors have started setting some irrigation line along the north side of the highway, kind of in the middle of the Gray County portion of the project. And the reason for doing that is they're doing what's called pre-watering. So this is, we're expanding the highway, they're gonna be digging into the hillside to the north. And so they're gonna soak that ground to get it moist, so when they dig it up, they can reuse it and have it compactable for the new road grade. So they're setting the irrigation line out there, they'll start pumping water and drip irrigating, if you will, the dirt, just to get it moisturized.
Do we know if all their right-of-ways have been purchased at this point?
I believe it has, but I don't know for a fact if all the
Okay.
right-of-way has been purchased. I've not heard that that was a holdup, anything. My understanding of any delays is either utility related, getting relocations done, or certain individuals need to move personal property such as fences. Or I believe what used to be the old gas station right there on the west side of town is still
right.
need to be emptied out and raised. So it looks like that process has started when I was there, I drove by Thursday. It looks like the building, and this time just driving down the road, looking through, has been emptied out and windows are being removed. So it looks like that is in process.
Yeah, they emptied it, I think, a month ago.
Okay.
I was curious about closer to how wide that was gonna become at that point. I haven't seen the design, but it just seems like you're gonna be really close to some retention ponds of, I think that's what those would be on the other side of the hill.
For the feed
Feed
yard?
yard,
Yeah. Yeah, so those retention ponds are right up against the right of way, and the intersection there, I believe is gonna be 150 foot wide, so that,
Okay.
especially trucks when they're crossing across the highway or trying to go from one side to turn on the lanes of the other, could store in the median. If there's traffic coming from the other direction, they have to wait, so they can cross one set of lanes, set in the median for a bit until traffic clears, so they can get on, either across the road or on to the highway. So it will be impacting those or the sewage lagoons, if you will, for the
Yeah,
feedlot.
right.
And they are, it looked like I saw an excavator down in the lagoon, and they're gonna have to move those lagoons
That's what I'm
and
wondering.
reconfigure them. I couldn't tell you exactly where they're going, but it looked like they had pumped them down and had an excavator, and they're starting to dredge them out.
Okay,
So they can, because the highway's gonna go right through that one.
That's what I
Closest
thought.
to the current highway.
I thought,
I believe the scales are being moved. I think there's a house in there that may be impacted. I don't know if it's being demolished or moved, and then the office, I believe, has to move as well.
okay,
There's quite a bit of change going on there,
that would be.
that facility. But it
Yeah.
looks like they're working on it.
I could kind of tell that 7 miles out from Dodge, it seemed like they pretty much had it all marked and lined out, and then you just kind of get up to the point of rocks where you just don't know and
Yeah.
how that's gonna be, and then from there, it seems like it opens back up, and then you just don't know until it gets to Howell.
Yeah, so from Dodge City just past the Point of Rocks, it will be a narrowed
To,
it'll be a 4-lane road, but there will not be a division.
Oh,
Like a
close.
grass median.
Yeah,
It'll be
yeah.
a narrow paved median, just like it is now going out of town.
yep,
Very similar fashion to that. And once you get past the Point of Rocks, that's where it's gonna
Whiten.
widen out to have a
Okay.
grassy median.
okay,
So once they start moving some dirt later this summer, it'll start to take shape, and contractors will be in probably in the next, sounds like in May, possibly in Ford County, to start moving dirt and building some box culverts for the drainage.
okay,
They're gonna start more in Gray County, just because it is, things are out of the way more, there's more areas to work in Gray County right now. So I anticipate what I've got from our guys is in the next couple of weeks, might start seeing more action in Gray County, and then probably more like middle of May or later
working this way.
in Ford County. It's actually, like the dirt contractors are two different ones per county, it's just such a big project.
Yeah,
They have different contractors doing Ford County, moving the dirt versus Gray County. And then I think the contractors doing the box culvert construction, there's two different contractors there, but it's more about the size of the structure, which one is building which. So they're both building certain structures in each county.
okay,
So give it a couple months, it'll be like a beehive out there probably.
Yeah. yeah,
You know, equipment and vehicles and people running all over the place. Really exciting.
yep,
Next item on my topic of projects is the road improvements for the Hillmore Cheese Plant facility. Kirkmichael was contracted by KDOT to design paving improvements on 112 and Outlaw roads. It's a 112 road going south of Highway 56, 1 mile, and then Outlaw Road going back to the east from 283 Highway. We completed the field survey, working on preliminary plans, and actually turned in the preliminary plans, which is about 50% plan completion to KDOT, just this morning, actually. And then KDOT will be looking to set up, they're gonna give a brief review of the plans and set up a review meeting with the county and the city and our firm to go over those preliminary plans. Once that's completed, we'll work on getting right-of-way information to the county, so that the counties can get started on acquiring the right-of-way that's needed for the project. And we'll continue to finalize the plans with the goal of having final plans completed in August
okay,
for a December bid letting. So everything is still a go on our, as far as we're been told, for this December bid letting, and construction to start 2023 on the road improvements. Next item is the low water crossing project, replacing the failed low water crossing on 127 road. We decided at the last commission meeting I attended to go with a 16-foot drivable surface. We have started working on finalizing those plans. It's probably gonna be a couple months before we have those to a point where we can submit it for permit applications. So we'll probably get bids in the summer, sometime in construction, late summer, early fall timeframe. The county road improvements that we've been working on, next on the plan was to resurface 102 road from Highway 50 to Garnett. As per our previous discussion, I've been in talks with Terracon to produce a pavement design with more of a traditional type setup. In lieu of the pavement reclamation that we did on Jewel Road, until we can figure out what's going on with the premature cracking on Jewel. We want to avoid replicating that outcome second time. So we're going to go with a more tried and true methodology, if you will. So I'm waiting the pavement design from Terracon, and then I'll put together a cost estimate and come back to the county for moving forward with that project to get bids this summer. So preliminarily, what we're looking at is probably doing a cement treated, so removing the existing asphalt, cement treating the dirt that's underlying there, and then putting a layer of like crushed stone or crushed concrete and paving on top of that.
Okay.
All right, keep going down the list here. Off System Bridge 97. I need to put my notes on where that's at, because you guys probably ask me that every time I come to the meeting, but that's the one that was selected by KDOT through the Kansas Local Bridge Improvement Program, which KDOT put up $150,000 towards the construction cost. Kirkland was approved to do the survey and design of that project. We have completed the field survey back in March, and we'll be getting started on the preliminary plans here in the near future.
And where's that location?
Remember, Chris?
Yeah, it's south of Jewel Road. It's on the Coon Creek,
Okay.
134.
134 road, I
Yeah,
believe,
134.
maybe 133.
Yeah, one of those two.
Okay.
I'll put that in my notes, because I know you guys are gonna ask me. So the plan is to get the construction plans developed for letting probably in 2023 and construction occur in 2023.
Okay.
I believe Road and Bridge is putting most of the bridge money towards the 127 road project for this year. We'd help the county submit for high-risk rural roads funding to do pavement markings on various locations through the county. KDOT did announce those selections last month. Unfortunately, Ford County was not on that list. So we can, I don't know, Chris, do you have plans to go ahead and stripe some of those, or do you think you might wait?
No,
Apply for high-risk rural roads?
based off what will be overlaying and sealing, the money I have for that will need to go to just restriping roads that are gonna be sealed and overlaid this year.
Yeah.
So these are roads we applied for that currently don't have striping on them. So
Okay.
it would have been a new cost. I mentioned the Jewel Road project there east to right. Terracon has come out and extracted cores from the asphalt and base that's out there, and have sent those off to the lab for further testing, just to analyze the materials to see how they were installed compared to the plans and specifications, and try to determine if there's any other outside forces, like say the dirt below is failing, that maybe influencing the pavement on the surface. If the ground below is moving around, which could be causing the cracking. But trying to determine what is the cause. Is it something to do with construction? Is it something to do with the design, or is it something that's outside of both that we didn't foresee coming and needs to be addressed? Once we get those results, we'll certainly come back to the county and share those with you and discuss how we think we need to move forward. to
What,
address the
what
issue.
was the final thickness on that road?
3 inches was the asphalt thickness that we put on there, and it had a 12 inches of cement treated base, which included the existing asphalt, was ground up and treated with cement and back in place.
Okay. Okay.
Really, the last item I had to update on is the US 50 project. KDOT had provided an agreement to Ford County for taking over maintenance of access roads that are going to be constructed as part of that project in Ford County. I finished my review of the agreement. I need to pass on my comments to the county's counselor, and then ask him to review it as well if he has not already. One thing I caught that in the agreement, it said the county will be taking over parts of existing 50, which will be rehab, and that's not true for Ford County. think, I'm wondering if they maybe took the Gray County agreement,
Oh,
which is true, and the curves coming into Cimarron are gonna be left in place and rehabilitated with a mill and overlay, and that's gonna become an access road to the lumber yard and things to the south, because the curves are gonna be shifted off to the north.
oh, really?
And there'll be an
Straighten it
access.
out?
Yeah, it'll make them a little softer.
Yeah.
So so they're easier to drive and navigate. They didn't meet the design criteria for the project that was proposed for the expressway. So they had to be elongated, if you will.
Will the speed limit change for this area?
What I've been hearing through the grapevine is once construction is completed, KDOT is looking at upgrading the speed limit to
Okay.
70.
70.
I'm not saying that's a done deal, but that is the consideration that's at hand.
Sure. Would make sense if you were divided that far.
And it would be a nice improvement, and the project was designed for 75, which typically you design for at least 5 mile an hour over the speed limit when you're doing something new. That way, if things change in the future and speed limits are raised, you're already prepared for that with the design. That's the conclusion of the report that I had for the commissioners today. I've entertained any questions if there are any.
I don't have any. Gentlemen, any questions for John while he's here?
I think so.
Thank you, John.
All right, thank you very much.
The next item is Community Facility Advisory Board, United Wireless Arena, RFP. Melissa McCoy, Assistant City Manager.
Sorry, Chris. Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman and Commissioners. We're here today to present a recommendation from CFAB to approve a microlight retrofit system for United Wireless Arena from Night Sound for $125,900. We put out a competitive request for proposals, however, they were the only respondent that we received. I wanted Chris to come up today to provide a little bit of background on why this project is necessary for us to move forward with this time. So you want to provide a little history?
Sure. Back when the building was originally built, a company called Microlight had the bid, and they came in, put in the operating system as well as all the wiring and all the fixtures. They went out of business or were bought by somebody else in the following year. From what I gathered, we were the last building they ever did.
Okay.
Kind of a similar situation to the ribbon board and that equipment. So we managed, the time I got here is when they started having a few issues with it, so 7 years ago or so. And we were able to get relays, we were able to get parts to a large degree, so we stockpiled them. We bought all we could find. The problem is, that's still an issue, we don't have a big stockpile of those left. The problem is the computerized operating system. If you think back 10 years ago, how many times you're on Windows number 78 now, or whatever it may be, this has never been updated.
Oh, wow.
So we're running on the original. What has happened over the course of the last probably 3 to 4 years, we get, and I call it ghost in the machine. Just for some reason, we tell it to do something and it just won't do it. And there's no way to go back, reload it. It had nothing to reload it with. There's no way to update it. So basically we rebooted, cross our fingers, and we've been fortunate to be able to keep it running. But it's at that point. Regardless, the fact we kept it running for as long as we have, we'd be at that point where we'd be looking at a new system now. That's the way it typically works in these buildings. Everything changes. Night, hopefully, or will, my understanding, Ryan can speak to this better than I could, will be doing the continuous updates. So new version 3 comes out, 4, 5, we'll be able to get those updates so we don't run into this problem as quickly as we ran into the old systems.
And this is basically the system that controls all of the light systems within the facility. So,
Okay.
and
Not just, does it also include sound, or is it just lighting?
It's just the lighting. It's the lighting, conference center, inside the conference center is a separate system. And we're doing okay with that one.
Okay.
And this is a really this ties into the hallways, the bathrooms, arena lighting, the restroom lighting,
Offices,
you name it.
yeah.
Kitchen rooms. And what we have to do is, you know, as much as I wish sometimes there was a big wall of toggle switches, so we could just go turn everything on, it's not that way. We have to create what we call scenes. So we know for football, this is the lighting we need. We know for basketball, we need this. Then you get into concerts and conventions, bigger events like that, especially on the arena floor, where you have to be able to vary it. And we run into some real challenges with that. We actually have to go in and find the breakers. I'm trying to break this stuff off and have for years. So we're kind of at that point.
So the night sound and lighting system, they basically purchased the rights to the microlight relay control system that the arena currently has. And so after buying these rights, they worked to create what's like a path for systems that had this system that was kind of out there, and they called it an orphan system, but basically doesn't have a parent company that works with it. And of course, this includes a brand new and full warranted electronics and relays for the system, and also replaces the software and the computers as well. And then it supports all of the scheduling, different scheduling patterns and light fixtures that are for these areas that Chris already mentioned. And in addition, very beneficial, it would do training for all the arena center staff on how to work on this equipment. And then the parts for this new system are all made here in the US, which is helpful when getting them, and it also has a 6-year warranty system. And so, Ryan Reed is here, he oversees the purchasing, and so he can answer any more specific questions on this. But essentially, we anticipate paying for this with a short-term bond with a 5-year payoff, and we would if this was approved, we would combine this with that bond that we would be doing for the ribbon board and that screens purchase. And Nicole's here too, we have questions on finance, so. Go ahead and open up if anybody has any questions.
Yeah, any questions, gentlemen? I don't think we have any.
I don't.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion to approve the microlight retrofit from Night Sound and Lighting for $125,900.
I'll second that.
Good.
All right, hearing that, I'll go ahead and call a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
All right, motion passes. I was gonna tell you, Chris, I really appreciate, it seems like we've had Fluffy several times.
One other time.
Yep. One, is it just once?
Yes.
Oh, wow. I was thinking that might have been the third. He's, I mean, again, a sellout show. I mean, amazing show. And I even heard grumblings at the beginning that maybe he might not perform, but I don't know if that was you talking to him that just kind of said, you know, this is how we are here in
Yeah.
this kind of area of the country, and
He's gotten so big.
Mhm.
And I have a relationship. A lot of what we do when we get Jeff Dunham coming into places like this, some of his larger bands, it's relationships. I know people and ask very nicely,
Yeah.
and they'll call me and say, hey, will you do a show because I'm routing that way and I need to fill it. So it's kind of a give and take, and it usually works out well for us. It was one of the most challenging shows I'll say I've ever had to do. We were COVID testing.
Yeah.
130 people prior, going in to changing over with, we had 1,800 Mennonites coming in for 6 days. So we did that show, changed the configuration, wanded everybody on top of it. So it was a great group effort. I was talking to Angela quite a bit about the best way to go about some of this stuff, and I know the county had somebody on the light for us, and the city was out helping with the wanding, so it was a real community effort to be as successful with it.
Yeah.
Appreciate all the support.
Yeah, it was impressive. And you could tell he, I don't know who all went, but I mean, you could tell that he went way past his time when he held up the clock, that he'd been 23 minutes over, and he went for another 40, and he felt comfortable here. And I know that he'd been here before. I talked to Albert Vasquez over at Central. Albert had him here when he was young, 12 years ago. He'd been in Garden, and the night before he was in New York City.
Yeah, Jimmy Fallon show.
And I just thought, how amazing is it that he still made the time to come I mean, that's a big hop. So,
So feather in our cap.
yeah, just thought it was amazing. Anyway, the events are taking off and it's exciting.
Thank you.
Yeah, but, yeah, thank you guys.
Thank you. Next, we have fire and EMS, change order, number 1.
Good afternoon, gentlemen. Here today asking permission to move forward with the change order with the tanker truck that we ordered here at the beginning of the year. We just have a few items on the list and with a total of $2,068 that we're requesting to purchase. I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, it's fine, I'm just reading through it.
A few of the things on the list, it already had a Kuzmol battery charger on it. We're looking to add a air compressor to that as well. That way we don't have to keep the truck plugged into an air compressor. As soon as the truck drops down to a certain point, it'll just build it back up. That'll help with the response times for us. And then the other thing is we're looking to add hard suction to it. We missed that when we did the bid, and we're just needing to add that to the order.
Okay.
So that's all I have at this time. Do you guys have any questions on anything?
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion to approve the Danco emergency equipment change order number 1 for $2,068.
All right, we have a motion and second. I'll go ahead and call a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, appreciate it.
The next item is emergency management, disaster declaration.
Good afternoon, gentlemen.
Rex?
Mr. Chairman, I request a disaster declaration from the 17th until the 15th of next month.
Okay.
Where's this gonna be, Debbie?
14.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion to adopt resolution number 2022-14, declaring disaster for the county for storms dated March 17th to 22nd.
All right, I'll second that. And with a motion second, any further discussion on the disaster emergency proclamation?
I have, Dennis.
All right. I'll go ahead and call a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you, Rex.
The next item is a request for proposals mail machine lease. The Government Center mail machine lease expires 6/20/22. We're requesting authorization from the board to publish a request for lease proposals. This would give us time to receive and set up any new machine, if that is the case.
Okay. I'd make a motion to approve the request for the lease proposals in regards to the Government Center mail machine.
I would second.
With the motion second, I'll open it up. Any discussion? Hearing none, I'll call a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right.
Item number 6, upcoming meetings. Community Facility Advisory Board, 6:30 PM, Tuesday, April 19th, 2022. Kansas County Commission Association Spring Conference, April 26th through the 28th in Salina. Kansas Association of City County Managers Spring Conference, April 28th and 29th in Lawrence. I have nothing further.
Okay,
Make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second that. With a motion second, I'll call a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, thanks so much.